Happy Monday, Warehouse Group, and welcome to your first day of your Wellbeing Challenge. My name is Denise, and I will be your Pilates teacher for the duration of the 6 weeks. I wanted to apologize for this morning's technical difficulties. It was always going to happen. We were always going to have some sort of technical obstacle, but hopefully that is it, and we are good to go. If you're watching this video, I wanted to tell you well done for making the time to be here. You've already won your Monday if this is your second time attempting a Pilates class. So let's jump right into it. For Pilates, if you haven't done Pilates before, Pilates is all about alignment, building strength, building mobility, balance, mindful controlled movement. And we are going to work on aligning your spine and rebalancing your joints and making sure your muscles are in the right alignment that it's supposed to be. So I'm going to talk a lot about breath work. I'm going to talk a lot about activation of muscles. So it might get a little confusing, but hopefully by the end of the 6 weeks, you will get a hang of what Pilates is. Now, you are the boss of your own body. If you have any injuries, pains, it is your responsibility to only do what feels good. So if something does not feel right, if you feel pain, stop, reset, be mindful, take a breath, skip the exercise, do whatever you need to do, okay? So let's get started today. We're gonna get started standing. I know you can't really see the top of my head, but we're gonna get onto our mat in a minute. So for this class, you will just need a mat or a towel or a soft place to lie down to work out. You can do it right on your carpet if you like, and a glass of water. So starting standing today, we're going to stand with our feet grounded onto the floor, hip distance apart. And when I say hip distance apart, I mean the soles of your feet are directly under these pointy bones over here called your hip bones. Okay, so starting with some breath work. So before we get into Pilates breathing, I want us to do 3 big belly breaths. So hand on your belly, inhaling through the nose as your belly inflates. And as you breathe out through your mouth, you feel your belly fall. And again, inhale, big Buddha belly. Exhale, feel your belly fall. One more time, one more big belly breath. Inhaling, make that belly round. Exhaling, deflating that belly. Coming into Pilates breathing, which is the opposite of belly breathing. So to get a clearer picture of what this looks like, I want you to put your hands on your rib cage with your middle fingers touching just on your rib cage here. And as you breathe in, I want you to breathe in, inhale through your nose into your hands. So you feel your hands, you feel your middle finger come apart. And then when you exhale through your mouth, your middle finger touches again. Okay, again, inhale through your hands, feel your rib cage expand. And as you exhale through your mouth, feel the rib cage deflate and your middle fingers touch. Okay, inhaling, expanding through the rib cage. This time as you exhale, I want you to bring your abdominals in. So activation of the core set abdominal muscles, feeling the skin fall back away from your clothes. Okay, inhale, expand that rib cage. Exhale, activate that belly. And again, inhale, feel that rib cage expand. Exhale, feel that belly activate. One more time, inhaling into your rib cage. Exhale, activating those abdominals. Okay, good. That is Pilates breathing. It can get a little bit hard to remember to do this type of breathing throughout the movement, but I will cue you and remind you of this as we go through the class. Okay, let's start moving. So let's inhale, our arms go up into our rib cage and expand. Exhale, as our arms come down, feeling the abdominals activate. One more time, inhaling, arm goes up. Exhaling, abdominals activate. And again, inhaling up, exhaling. Good. Let's move on to our neck. So just lubricating our joints. I want you to hold your right side. Let me get on my knees so you can see me. I want you to stay on your feet. So putting the hand on your head and letting your head fall to one side, and the opposite arm pushes the ground away. Just a very, very slight stretch here. I don't want you to strain your neck too much. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling activation through the abdominals. Switching sides. Inhaling through the rib cage, exhaling. Good. Interlacing your hands in the back. Opening your chest, feeling your shoulders stretch open. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Good. Letting go. Shoulder rolls. One shoulder, two shoulder, three shoulder, and now switching directions. 1, 2, 3. Good. Moving on to our hips. So feet are standing a little bit wider than hip width apart, and I just want you to do some hip circles. So we're just warming up our muscles. If you've spent your morning a little bit, maybe not very mobile, maybe you've been in front of your computer, you'll need just a little bit of warm up just to get your juices flowing. Okay, switching directions. Good. All right, now coming into the top of your mat. So standing at the top of your mat, I know you can't see my head, but I will be on the mat in a minute. So let's inhale through the rib cage. As you exhale, chin to your chest, and I want you to slowly de-stack your spine. Use gravity to slowly come in to your ragdoll position. So ragdoll position is when your upper body is hanging over your lower body. So you might want to soften your knees, softening your knees here. And just letting gravity put length between the vertebrae of your spine. So let's just take in what your body's feeling. Do you feel tight anywhere? Maybe you're tight behind your knees. Maybe you're tight between your lower back. Maybe there's tension in your shoulders. Take note of how you feel right now and put that note in the back pocket. I'm gonna make you compare how you feel now, the beginning of class to the end of class, where we're going to end up in this position as well. Okay, take an inhale here. As you exhale, you're going to walk your hands to pike position, or what yogis call downward dog. So in this pike position, I want you to pedal the heels off the ground, one after the other. Pedal for 4, 3, 2, 1. Now finding stillness here. Stretching your body here. Your heels go towards the ground. If that's not comfortable, you can soften the knees. Eventually, your heels will come to the ground the more of this practice that you do. Pushing that ground away from you, your shoulders are down, your rib cage is not flared, and your belly is in. Okay, inhaling through the nose, expanding through the rib cage. Exhaling, activating that core. Okay, let's start moving here. On your next exhale, I want you to lower your knees to hover, and then inhale, return to pike. Exhale, lower, inhale, return. 2 more times. Exhale, lower, inhale, return. Exhale, lower, inhale, return. And you can lower all the way down to the ground. Good. Okay, you can shake up your wrists. Now, if any time your wrist hurts during this practice, you can always come into your elbows as opposed to your wrists. Okay, coming into 4-point kneeling on your wrists or on your elbows. We're just going to put a little bit of movement into our spine. So inhale, look up towards the ceiling and arc your back, exaggerated. I'm letting your belly fall. And then exhale, coming into an angry cat, let your head fall, scoop the belly into a C curve. And again, so inhaling up, exhaling down. Let's go 2 more times. This movement should feel good. Warming up our spine. Good. Okay, now finding stillness here. Let me turn around so you can see me a little bit better. Okay, finding stillness in 4-point kneeling position. I want you to check in with your alignment. I want you to make sure your wrists, elbows, and shoulders are stacked. Your belly is in. Your knees and your hips are stacked as well. Okay. In this position, I want you to sink your chest, sink your heart towards the mat, and then lift it. Sink it and lift it. Sink it and lift it. Sink it and lift it. Okay, now stay lifted. I don't want you to be sinking through your chest here. The correct position is to stay lifted. Another thing I want you to be mindful of is this sacrum, or your lower back, the top of your tailbone. I want you to imagine a hot cup of tea on the top of this tailbone. And I want you to, as we move, I want you to make sure you don't spill the tea or that glass off your tailbone. So anytime you move, this stays flat. Okay, so we're going to sink the weight of our body into both hands, into our right knee and toe. We're gonna move with our left leg. Inhale to prep. As you exhale, you're gonna extend that left leg up. You're gonna lift and lower, lift and lower. That's it, lift and lower. Being mindful of that cup of tea, making sure your pelvis is not arcing, making sure your spine stays still. So the only thing moving is your leg. So exhale up, inhale down. Exhale, activate that. Your abs, inhale. Exhale, inhale, and let's go for 3, 2, 1. Keeping it hip height, circles. Let's go 4 circles, one direction. That's 4, 3, 2, 1. Switching directions for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Resting your leg down. Come into a child's pose where your pelvis rests onto the heels of your feet and you're stretching your arms in front of you. Okay, taking a quick breath here before we switch sides. Inhale through the nose, big exhale through the mouth. Good. Coming back up to the opposite side. So finding our alignment, whether you're on your wrists or your elbows, you can do this movement on your elbows as well. Okay, sinking that opposite leg into the ground. So your left leg is sinking in, making sure your joints are all stacked. That belly is in, that cup of tea is nice and still. Inhaling to prep, exhaling, extend the opposite leg, lifting and lowering. The only thing that's moving is your leg. Like we are a Barbie doll. As our limbs move, nothing else moves. Our spine stays still. And what makes our spine stay still is our deep abdominals. So the stronger your deep abdominals are, the easier it is to keep your spine still. Good, let's go 3, 2, 1. Holding at hip height, circles. Circles, one direction for 4, 3, 2, 1, and switching. 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering down, shaking the tailbone and shaking those wrists. Good. Okay, now would be a good time for a drink of water if you need it. Otherwise, meeting me on our belly. So on our belly, our hips are hip distance apart, and our hip bones, our 2 pointed hip bones here, are digging into the mat. Like our pelvis is a heavy sandbag that is just digging in, and that's gonna stay stable the whole time. Our hands is in a diamond position just in front of us, and our head is hovering just above it. Okay, we're gonna work on some on our back at the moment. This is gonna be really good for your posture, especially after long days, hunched over the computer. Okay, getting into position, head is hovering just above your diamond. On your next inhale, you're gonna lift your head, neck, chest off the ground. As you lift your hands, pulling your elbows back and then returning back down. So inhaling, coming up, just your upper body, and then exhaling, coming back down. So it is key to actually turn our abdominals on as we come up. So exhaling down, inhale, digging the hips into the mat, turning abdominals on to protect the lower back, and then return back down. If this feels good, you can add the legs. So hover the legs above the mat as well. Otherwise, you can just keep with your upper body movement. And we're going for 4, 3, 2, 1. On the next one, we're keeping our legs onto the ground and we're coming up just our hands and our upper body, holding this position. Our hands are gonna come out and in for 4, gazes down, 3, abdominals are on, 2, and 1, lower everything back down. Okay, we're gonna do that one more time. Take an inhale here and big exhale. On your next inhale, we're coming up, head, neck, and chest come up, elbows push back and holding up, and we're going out and in with our arms for 4, 3, 2, and 1. Lower everything back down. You can push up, pull your pelvis down towards your heels for a child's pose, and release your lower back. Enjoy this back release as your arms stretch in front of you. Breathing into your nose, exhaling through the mouth. Good. Okay, now moving on to some leg work. So in a side lying position, we're lying on one side, our head is resting down on our bottom hand, our top hand is on our hip. The top leg is extended and activated, toes are pointed, and that top leg is going to rest in front of you. This is for stability as well. Okay, with this top hand, I want you to pull your waist down, giving you a sense of space between your mat and your waist. I know it's quite hard to see, but you might not see the gap, but I just want you to feel a sense that your spine is in a neutral position. Okay, we're working your inner thighs here. So the movement is moving the bottom leg up and down, up and down, up and down. So it's inner thigh work. It's a real subtle movement. You might not feel it right away. I want your head to rest. I want your hips to stay stacked. Your shoulders are stacked. Your hand is on your waist, or if you feel like you're wobbly, that top hand can be in front of you. So you are leaning against an imaginary wall. So your head and your back and your pelvis is all leaning against the imaginary wall behind you. Good. And we're lifting for 4, 3, 2, 1, and circles, any direction. So if you haven't felt the burn, you might start feeling it now. And we're going for 3, 2, 1, switching directions. So I want you to imagine that your big toe is a pencil and you're drawing circles on the wall just a little bit further from your mat. So you really have to activate and stretch that toe to draw these circles. Okay, finding stillness, keeping it still, and we're pulsing up for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, lowering down. Whew, I feel that on my inner thighs. Hopefully you do too. Okay, moving on to some glute work. So this, we're going to do some clams. So checking into our alignment again, both hips, both legs are stacked and bent. Now this time, the imaginary wall is behind you. Your pelvis is leaning up on it, and also the soles of your feet. Okay, pull that waist down, sense of space. Lifting those feet up, you're going to open and close. Open and close. And again, the movement is only coming from that top leg. So you might not open too much. You might just open a little bit. Your hips stay stacked. I want that burn to start activating on that top glute. Good. Everything is stacked, small movement. It's like your hip bone is opening and closing. Toes stay together, but the soles of your feet come apart. And let's go for 3, 2, 1, keep it open. If you haven't felt it, now will be the time. And you're pulsing up for 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, holding and kicking for 3, 2, 1, and everything comes all the way down. Hopefully your glute is activated there. Good. Now let's switch sides. So switching sides here, head is rested, and our top leg is extended. Bottom leg is extended, top leg is bent, head is resting on the bottom hand, pulling your waist down, and let's start moving. Let me just move here so you can see my toe. Okay, right, so my toe is activated, it's pointed. The pencil is drawing lines up and down on that imaginary wall, just at the bottom of my mat. Good. My inner thighs are now turning on and working hard. Let's go for 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and circles. Any direction for 4, 3, 2, 1, switching directions. Good for 4, 3, 2, 1. Keeping it up. We're pulsing up towards the ceiling, up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and resting down. Coming into some glute work. Back to alignment. Hips are still stacked. Waist has a sense of space here, pulling that down. Legs come up, and let's get right into it. Our clams. Good. So again, hips are opening and closing. The only thing that's moving is our top leg. Our spine, our pelvis, our bottom leg are all still, and they're being kept still by our very strong ab work. And our glutes are firing to move this top leg. Good. Let's go 4, 3, 2, 1. Holding it open. And you're going to go up an inch and down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Kicking for 3, 2, 1. Resting everything down. Good. Coming into our back now. Let's get some stretching done here. So let's extend our left leg. Our right leg comes in, bending it towards your chest. I want you to make circles with that knee. One direction. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Switching directions. Good. Okay, finding stillness, giving yourselves a quick hamstring stretch. You can bend that extended leg to give you a little bit of more comfort. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Good, and twisting to one side. Just holding for a breath, enjoying that glute stretch here, enjoying the twisting of our spine. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Releasing back, switching sides, bringing that left leg in. And we go with our circles. Circles any direction. We will switch in just a minute. And switching directions. Good. And we're going for 2 more. Hamstring stretch. You can bend that leg and grab your leg to wherever feel comfortable so you can feel the stretch just here in the back of your leg or your hamstring. Good. Now coming into a twist on the opposite side. Inhaling through the nose, exhaling through the mouth. Okay, releasing back. Okay, both legs are bent. I want your hands to rest on those pointy hip bones here. I want to talk about alignment. So if you've done Pilates before, you would have heard this term of neutral spine. And neutral spine is basically just the normal position of our spine, where our lower back or our lumbar spine has a natural curve. And I want you to keep that natural curve here. So that natural curve is actually lifted off the mat. Okay, bringing some movement here. Actually, no, let's get our breathing right. So let's inhale, expanding our rib cage, feeling the back of our rib cage, put pressure on the mat. And as you exhale, feeling that skin come away from your clothes as you activate your core. One more time, inhaling through the nose, exhaling, bringing in that core. Okay, keeping this breath pattern, we're going to bring some movement of the legs in. So on your next, so let's take an inhale here. On your next exhale, you're going to bring one leg to tabletop and then lower down and exhale. Take an inhale between, exhale up, inhale, pause, exhale down. So basically exhaling to move, inhaling to pause, exhaling to move again. I want you to imagine that your legs are walking through some very, very wet cement. So this move can actually be really easy, but if you do it mindfully, feeling the resistance up the same way it goes down, so resistance down the same way it goes up, your abdominals are actually working really hard to keep the spine in neutral and to not move anything but your legs. Again, Barbie doll legs. Only the limbs are moving. The trunk stays still. Good. Let's try something a bit harder. Bringing both legs to tabletop now. That spine is in neutral. You can keep your hands on your hip bones, actually. You can feel your deep abdominals activate under your hands once you move. Right, on your next exhale, left leg goes towards the floor. Inhale, come up. So this should actually feel heavy. The weight of your legs is being held by your deep core abdominals. And if you're not used to working your deep core abdominals, you might start to feel this in your back. If you start to feel this in your back, you can bring those knees closer to your body and move that way. Good. Let's go 4, 3, 2, and 1. Both legs down onto the ground. Good. Okay, let's move on to do some bridging. So we're going to have our hands onto the mat. Inhaling to prep. As you exhale, I want you to tilt your pelvis towards that belly button as you lift your tailbone off the ground. And you're going to lift each vertebrae off the ground one by one until your width's in your shoulder girdle. Your hips are open towards the ceiling. Inhaling at the top as you exhale, place that spine vertebrae by vertebrae back down onto the ground. Good. Going again. Inhale, pause. Exhale, rolling, peeling that spine off the mat bone by bone. Small, controlled, mindful movements. Inhaling at the top, exhaling, placing that spine back down onto the ground. One more time. Inhaling to prep, exhaling. Let's lift each spine vertebrae off the ground. So this should feel really good, but you should also feel your glutes and your hamstrings start to turn on. Keep your rib cage from flaring. Take an inhale at the top, exhale, bone by bone. Try not to miss the vertebrae. Really place it really carefully onto the mat like a string of pearls. Tucking your pelvis in to make sure that lumbar spine gets to be placed properly as well. Spine is in neutral. Okay, good. We're going to do this again, but at the next one, you're going to meet me up top. Okay, inhaling to pause. Exhale. Tuck that tailbone under and slowly lift your spine off the ground, meeting me at the top of your bridge, right? Opening those hips towards the ceiling. From here, you're going to drop your hips and up. So I want you to drop it till it just hovers off the mat and then pulse it towards the ceiling. Drop and pulse, drop and pulse, drop and pulse. We're going for 6, 7, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, holding it towards the ceiling, holding it here. We're pulsing up an inch, down an inch, up an inch, down an inch for 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, holding up top. Exhale, bone by bone, slowly place it back on the mat. Good. And bringing those knees to the chest. Give yourself a little back massage by rolling from side to side. Okay, those legs go back down onto the ground. We're going to work on our obliques now. So I want you to cradle your head in your hands. Your elbows stay in your peripheral vision the whole time. So it's not flat, it's not too close together. It's just in the sides of your vision. And I want you to make sure you really carry the weight of your head in your hands. I don't want you to hold any tension in your neck. Okay, inhale, let's prep. As you exhale, you're going to lift your head, neck, and shoulders up, and then inhaling back down. So nice, simple chest lift. Exhale up, inhale down. And as you come up, I want you to picture your rib cage gliding down your body towards your hip, making a rib to hip connection. This rib to hip connection is your abdominals, your deep abdominals working. Your spine is in neutral. If this hurts your back, you can really imprint that spine, flatten it towards the floor if that helps. Okay, let's go 2 more times. Good. In the next one, we're going to work on, we're going to do some obliques. So inhaling to prep. As you exhale, you're going to take that right hand towards the outside of your left thigh, return down, alternate side. Good. Exhale, twist, inhale down. Exhale, twist. Inhale, down. Good. So as you twist, I want you to really picture you twisting that spine, rinsing it out, like rinsing out all the toxins and the wetness, giving yourself a little bit more mobility in your spine whilst really strengthening those obliques. Okay, one more each side. Resting all the way down. You can stay with that variation for the next one. Otherwise, if you feel strong, come with me for a bicycle. So if you're going to come with me to a bicycle, bring both legs to tabletop. And your spine is going to imprint, lengthen onto the mat. So your lower back can really lengthen and press that lower back onto that mat. So not in a neutral position. Inhale, prep. Exhale, we're starting up top. And we're going full bicycle. So right leg extends while your left armpit goes towards your knee. And switch. Exhale, switch. Exhale, switch. Quick inhale between. We're going for 4, 3, 2, 1. Coming all the way down. Soles of your feet onto the mat. Good. Okay, moving on here. We are going to come up into a roll up. So hold the back of your knees. I want you to picture you're at the bottom of a rocking chair. So you're going to really have you're going to use your feet like a seesaw rocking chair. So inhaling to prep. As you exhale, chin goes to your chest, giving yourself a C curve. And you're going to use the weight of your feet to come up to sitting, lengthening up. Good. Inhaling here. Exhale, tuck that tailbone under. Seesawing or rocking chair back to start. One more time. You're going to meet me at sitting. Inhale, pause. Exhale, let's seesaw up. Lengthen that spine and coming into sitting. Good. Okay, we're going to end class with a plank hold before we do some roll ups to finish. So we're just going to plank hold for a count of 10, but we're going to really focus on alignment. You can modify this. You can do the full plank. I will do the full plank, but if your wrist hurts, please do it on your elbows, or you can stay on your knees as opposed to coming into your toes. Okay, starting with 4-point position. That cup of tea is back. It's on your tailbone. So in your plank, making sure that cup of tea doesn't spill. Joints are stacked. Belly is in. Inhale to prep. As you exhale, one leg extends, then the other. You're really pushing that mat away from you. So you can either be on your knees with the same sort of alignment. So that cup of tea is on your sacrum, or you're on your elbows. Okay, holding that plank, pushing away from you. You've got an imaginary ball around your chest, which you're hugging. Belly is in, and we're holding. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Knees are down. Coming into your child's pose. Taking an inhale here and a big exhale. Good. So let's end class with a roll up. So coming into pike, like we started. Coming into pike, seeing how you feel with this pike compared to the first pike we did in class. Inhale, pause. As you exhale, you're going to walk your hands to a ragdoll position. So here we are again at ragdoll. How do you feel here compared to the beginning of class? Do you feel a bit looser? Is your tightness gone? Is the tension gone? Maybe you're a bit warmer. Hopefully you feel better. Those legs can soften or they can straighten for another hamstring stretch. Taking an inhale at the bottom. On your next exhale, I want you to start to stack your spine. If you have low blood pressure, I want you to really have a strong fist. That's going to help your circulation, bring you up. Otherwise, bone by bone, coming up, head is last to come up. Good. We're going to do that one more time. So crown of the head extends towards the ceiling as you exhale, chin to your chest. Slowly de-stack your spine. Coming into ragdoll again. Right, so using gravity to really get some space between that vertebrae. Inhaling at the bottom, enjoying this length through your spine. Inhaling. On your next exhaling, start to rebuild that spine again in a count of 4, scooping up. 3, 2, 1. Head last to come up. Roll their shoulders back. Quick side stretch, grabbing one opposite hand and then the other. And you are done for class 1, week 1. Hopefully you enjoyed it. Tomorrow you're going to have a boot camp class. On Wednesday, a yoga class. Thursday, another boot camp class, and I will be back Friday to check in with you over the week. Hopefully everyone has a good Monday, and I will see you soon.